Let's go ahead and look at homework exercise number 12 from section 5.3. We're supposed to multiply the two mixed numbers 3 1/4 times 6 2/3. Okay, so what we're going to do is to do this pencil and paper, and then I'll do it on the calculator. You're going to change both of these to improper fractions. So 3 1/4, you do 3 times the denominator is 12, add the numerator, and then add 1 from the numerator, you get 13/4, times 6 2/3, 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 from the numerator is 20, over the denominator, keep it the same as 3. Now, before we multiply, you can reduce any numerator with any denominator if there's a common divisor. So 4 goes into 4 ones, 4 goes into 25 times. 13, 5, and 3, nothing is divisible. So 13 times 5 is 65. And 3 times 1 is 3. Now, again, we're supposed to write it as a mixed number. So 65 divided by 3 goes in there twice, and then once, and the remainder is 2 over the divisor. So it would be 21 2/3. Okay, that's how we would do it, pencil and paper. So we get, 20, wait a minute, choose the mixed number, 21 2/3. All right, now on the calculator, you can do it, again, a mixed number. If you have an old 83, you can do the whole number plus the fraction part. So 3 1/4, you can put in, you got to have parentheses though. 3 plus 1 divided by 4. That represents 3 1/4. Now we're multiplying, so you can just use the parentheses or you can multiply. You don't need to do multiplication. Then a left paren, but you do need a paren around the mixed number when you represent it as a whole number plus a fraction. So 6 would be 6 plus 2 divided by 3. And hit enter, and there's our answer, 21.6667, and then your whole number is 21, right? So subtract 21, and then the decimal representation for 0.666 is 2/3, and there's our correct answer, 21 2/3. Now remember, you can also put in mixed numbers using if you got an 84, using the fraction mode. So you can hit alpha F1, and the first number, and to put in mixed number is number 2. So we've got 3 1/4. Now you don't have to have parentheses when you do it this, but now since we don't have parentheses, we need to multiply. All right, probably it's a good idea to put in parentheses, so I'll put in parentheses in this one, but it'll still work. All right, and then we need to do alpha F1, number 2, scroll down to number 2 to enter a mixed number. This time it's 6 2/3, and then a right paren, get out of the denominator, hit enter, 65/3, and then you would go to alpha F1, again, and then to convert it to a mixed number, it's function number 3. So we scroll down to get number 3, and then when you highlight 3, hit enter, and then hit enter a second time, and there's your answer, 21 2/3. All right. When you're dividing fractions, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So if you're doing this paper and pencil, 2/7 divided by 13/14 is keep the first one the same, change division to multiplication and flip 14 over 13. Now again, it's a product of the numerators over product of the denominators, but we can reduce. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 14 twice. Nothing else reduces, so the numerator is 2 times 2, which is 4. The denominator is 1 times 13, which is 13. So our answer is 4 over 13. Again, you multiply by the reciprocal of the second number. On the calculator, you can go ahead and put it in as fractions. You can do the division. Now you must use parentheses when you're dividing. So again, the fraction is 2 divided by 7, and then it's divided by, and automatically you don't have to change it to multiplying by the reciprocal. Now you need to put in this, the second fraction is in the parentheses, 13 divided by 14. That's how we represent a fraction. Hit enter, and then go to the math and hit enter once and a second time, and there's our answer, 4 over 13. Or you can use your fraction key, put in the fractions. All right, the first one is number 1 to enter the fraction, 2 over 7, and then we need to do divided by, and again I forgot to use parentheses, but that's okay. It'll still work. Math, or alpha F1, putting in another fraction, 13 in the numerator, 14 in the denominator. Hit the right arrow key, put a right paren, hit enter, and there's our correct answer, 4 over 13. Okay, this one you would change to improper fractions and multiply by the reciprocal of the second one. So if you're doing it paper and pencil, 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So the first one is 11/3 as an improper fraction, divided by 3 times 6 is 18 plus 1 is 19 over 6. So now we're going to go 11 over 3 times the reciprocal of the second one, 6 over 19. Before we multiply, we can reduce. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. Nothing else reduces, so 11 times 2 is 22. 1 times 19 is 19. And again, we want a mixed number, so 22 divided by 19 goes in there once, and the remainder is 3. So it would be 1 3/19. All right. One. The numerator was 3. Denominator is 19. Okay, on the calculator, you can just go ahead and enter it as a mixed number using the fraction, right? You can go ahead and put in alpha F1. A mixed number is number 2. 3 2/3. Okay, and then we need the paren. We are dividing, right? So we need the division sign. Left paren, alpha F1. Scroll down to number 3 with your down arrow, or number 2, to enter a mixed number. Hit enter. Enter the second number, 3 1/6. Okay, get out of the denominator. Hit the right paren key. Hit enter. 22 over 19. And then you can do alpha F1 and go to number 3, which will change it to an improper fraction, or to a mixed number. So select that, hit enter a second time, and then there's our answer, 1 3/19. Okay, now when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you got to get a common denominator. In this case, the denominator is already the same, so you don't have to worry about getting a common denominator. So 3 over 4 minus 2 over 4, you simply keep the same denominator, and then you do the subtraction. 3 minus 2 is 1, so your answer is 1/4. So 3/4 minus 2/4 is 1/4. Okay? On the calculator, again, you can do the fraction function, or you can simply just do the first number as a division fraction. 3/4 is 3 divided by 4, then we're subtracting, and then the second number in parentheses, fraction, it would be entered as 2 divided by 4, hit enter, get a decimal, and then hit your math key and hit enter and get 1/4. And you could also use your alpha F1 key to get the same correct answer. Okay, now, when we do not have a common denominator, pencil and paper, we've got to get a common denominator. So 5 over 7 plus 7 over 6. Okay. There's nothing common among 7 and 6, so the common denominator will simply be the least common multiple, which will be their product. 7 times 6, it's 42. So we're going to multiply this fraction by 6 over 6. We're going to multiply this fraction by 7 over 7. So now 6 times 7 is 42 in the denominator. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 7 again is 42 in the denominator. That's why we did a common denominator. 7 times 7 is 49. And then you got the same denominator, so you copy it down. In this case, you're adding the two numerators. 30 plus 49 is 79. And this time, a simplified fraction means you leave it as an improper. So your answer is, they want 79 over 42. Again, you've got to multiply by the numerator and denominator by the same number to get a, and then we first multiply numerator by the same number, but first, before that, figure out what you need to get a common denominator. In this time, it's 42, so we had to multiply this one by, the first one by 6, or 6 over 6, and the second one by 7 over 7 to get our common denominator of 42. Okay, so we have our answer, 79 divided by 42. Okay, and on the calculator, you don't have to get a common denominator. It will do it for you. So you can simply go ahead and put in 5 divided by 7 as the first fraction, and then we have a plus sign. The second fraction is 7 divided by 6, numerator divided by denominator in parentheses. Both are in parentheses, hit enter. Okay, and then go ahead, and we know now, then you can just go to alpha F1, or actually you can go to subtract 1, or actually you could just go to math, fraction, and it gives you as a simplified fraction 79 over 42. So we didn't have to worry about doing anything else. We could it already gave it as an improper fraction. If we needed a mixed number, then we would just have to go to the alpha F1. So there's our correct answer, doing it on the calculator. Okay, we're going to stop this session at problems homework exercise 16. If you have any questions, email me at tswiersz, tswiersz @hodges.edu, or call my office at 239-938-7805. Thank you.